Blaney's rejoining there, they're all three wide. Neil's trying to get involved and Blaney hits them both off. Blaney goes back on the track, hits both cars. It's the right on the back of Bradders into the hairpin on the inside. Bradders outbreaks his own. They both pass, just hard to say. Stevie passes them all straight through. Oh, Callum's lost it! Callum's lost it! What a recovery! He uses the wall, but what a recovery there from Callum. Let's have a look at Steve. Now Stevie holds his own around the outside. And no way Jose, but then gets a slow run out of the corner. Bids right up on the outside of him again. This is brilliant. LPB WTCR Championship Round 2 Race 1 from Algarve. Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing for the LPB WTCR Championship on Project Cars 2. This is round 2 and it's going to be race 1 and 2 here at Algarve. Let's take you through the grid for this first race then as we look to our drone. And it is Bradders on pole position with Pash second on the grid. Then third is TY, fourth is Blake, and then fifth is Bidster. Sixth is Will, his teammate. Then it's seventh for Intrepidi, new guy to the Project Cars roster, and then it's Neil Farmack and Stevie on the back row of the grid. So let's get ready for the start then as we prepare for the off here at Algarve. Red light on the tree above and green straight away, very fast, and everyone gets away well. 4 wide, possibly down to the first corner. Look at Bidster's start on the outside in the BMW. What a start for Bidster. And he's into the first corner first. And Bradders and Will make contact and Bradders goes wide. And goes wide but stays on the track as everyone else goes through the first few corners. There's plenty of people. Oh, we've got Intrepidi and Will involved in an incident on the inside. Intrepidi's off and he has to get back to the tarmac to recover as we look at Neil Farmack there in the Mercedes with Blake looking up the inside, Will going wide, and it's all happening in Intrepidi letting people go back through. So he's in his first race with us, and what a baptism of fire that was as Bidster goes into the hairpin. Stevie straight down the inside of Pash, no messing about from Stevie, he means business here. Pash in third, Bradders fourth, and Neil Farmack leading a bunch of people out of the hairpin. Will goes wide and Intrepidi goes through. So up and over the hill, and there goes Neil Farmack with Blakeney behind him into the uphill right-hander. So a bit of a few hectic corners there, but looks like we all pretty much survived. So we've got side by side between Pash and Bradders gets past Pash, so Pash must have had a slowdown penalty there. So Bradders goes into third position as the leaders then side by side. Bidster holding Stevie off as we go up towards the last complex. Bidster in the BMW, part of the Brave and Bold team as they've called themselves. Oh, it's Bidster sliding the BMW out. And there's Bradders' teammate. Who's brave and who's bold, you'll have to decide for yourselves. But then they're followed by Pash in the Mercedes and Neil in the two Mercedes cars. And their team is called Smoking Tyres. So very original names here, but still part of the fun as we go through the last corner and onto the start-finish line. And ending the first lap, Bidster is in the lead in the BMW for Brave and Bold. Then it's Stevie behind, part of the Dive Squad. So it's Dive Squad, they've called themselves. So hopefully they do not live up to that name, because if they do live up to that name, they'll not be in LPB racing very long, I can tell you that. Clean racing only in this group as we go through turn 1 with Neil Farmack under pressure from the two white BMWs of TY and Blakeney, who are called Friendly Fire. So because they've come into contact with each other a few times already, so I thought, we'll go with that name, we'll stick with that. And then Will is part of Phoenix Racing Cars with NRP, but NRP unfortunately is still not able to make a race this season, so Will's struggling at the back on his own. He needs a teammate to help him out, and you never know, it might end up being this man, Intrepidi, new guy, Shane is called, and he's a very, very good racer. And I've done his assessment and he's really, really consistent and good, so hopefully he does well in the future also. And Bradders there in fourth, he's ahead, and Neil, I don't know if there was contact there, but there might have been contactors. Then we've got Blakeney and TY, come on cameras, 3 wide down the hill. Neil in a BMW sandwich as we go down the hill, and TY gets the position from Neil Farmack, and Blakeney not able to capitalise. Intrepidi straight up the inside, no messing about from this new guy, straight up the inside, wanting to get his hands dirty as Bradders goes off, clips the curb, and round he goes. Bradders goes off and he's spun down to 8th position, so that leaves TY 4th, Neil 5th, Blakeney 6th, Intrepidi in 7th. Good little battle this for the 4th place, so 4 cars battling for the position as Bradders gets himself going, but he's at the back of the pack now, so just gets himself out on the curb and loses control. But meanwhile, his teammate has got a 2-second lead over Stevie. He's pulling out a gap as we stare at a fence. Whoa, still staring at a fence. There's a fan clapping. There we go. Bradders there, Bidster there in the lead. Stevie 2nd, Pash 3rd, TY in 4th with all the rest of the field behind him. So TY there, 4th place in the white car, and he's followed by Neil with Blakeney possibly going to have a look into this first corner. Is he? No. Thought he was going to have a little look down the inside. Now the Mercedes is very good in the tight twisty sections, but around the faster corners it's not quite as good as the BMW. But the BMW's weakness is its brakes, as Intrepidi's showing there, because he's able to stick that Megane up the inside. He's just joined us for this one, so he's picked the Megane for himself, so he's got the Megane until the end of round 3, and then remember we change cars round after the third round, so when we end up going through 3 rounds each in the different cars, so every team has to put up with one of their cars at each point of the season, so it evens things out, because they are quite evenly matched on pace, these TCR cars anyway, but we are doing that so it's fair, so not each team's in the same car for the whole season, because just puts a bit more strategy into it, really, about picking your car at the right time for the right circuits. And meanwhile, TY says, sod all this about cars, I'm getting past Pash around the outside in this BMW, and round the outside he goes onto the curb while he brakes as well, and possibly lost the rear end there. He had a massive twitch, and he's lost the back end into the corner, and Pash says thank you very much, I'll take that back, and down the hill we go. So the Mercedes putting the BMW into its place. The front wheel drive a lot more steady into the braking zones than the BMW is, especially when you ride a curb, as Pash goes very wide there, and TY goes to it, and rejoins right in front of his teammate, and Intrepidi can smell opportunity straight up the inside of the hindering Neil Farmack, and takes 6th place. So good opportunistic driving there from Intrepidi, and straight through into 6th place. And it is his next target is Blakeney in front, who was attacking Pash. So the Mercedes cars going backwards here very fast, and also to take into account as well around these circuits today, the Algarve and Dubai tracks are known to be very, very hot. So the track temperature and the air temperature are very warm. That will affect the front wheel drive cars with the front tyre temperatures, because remember the front wheels are doing all the work as Blakeney looks to go up the inside of Intrepidi, and Neil Farmack follows him through. So Intrepidi absolutely schooled by our LPB Racing regulars there on how to lose 2 positions in one go. So Intrepidi goes backwards down to 7th place. So yeah, the rear tyre, the front tyres on the front wheel drive cars getting very, very warm anyway. They would be naturally around this track, but obviously the heat does not help, and that's where the BMWs will come in, because about now the front wheel drive cars, their front tyres will be starting to go off, and the rear wheel drive cars will have the advantage of cooler tyres and able to get their tyres to work better. But again, this track is again a bit of a problem for the rear wheel drive cars because of all the up and down hill. It's can make them a bit unstable at times, as Blakeney then goes on the outside of Pash, round the outside of Pash, and you won't be able to do that in a front wheel drive car because of how warm the tyres are, and Blakeney goes through on the inside into 4th. Pash then hung out to dry a bit, his teammate behind him, but no moves made yet. Here's some replays of the first half of the race. Okay, here's the first of the replays then, looking at Intrepidi on board with the start. So Bidster gets a flyer, and so does Will on the right hand side as well. They're both off in the BMWs. Bidster's leading to the first corner, then watch what happens here. Into the corner, Will comes in and then hits Bradders, so Will with it clumsy there, hits Bradders, then slows up, and then everyone else is wondering what the hell's going on. And then again, Bradders and Stephen make contact, and Will comes across on Intrepidi and makes contact with him. And Intrepidi has no choice but to shortcut the corner, but then it does give the positions back, which is very nice of him. But Will was very clumsy into those first few corners, so he needs to watch for that in future races. Okay, here's the replay on board with Blakeney then, watching what happened between Neil and Bradders on lap 2. So into the corner, Bradders was quite slow, Neil's carrying speed, then Bradders breaks from the corner, Neil just brakes a bit too late, doesn't realise, and then the old Constantina together, and then Bradders gets away with it, and then Blakeney then comes alongside Neil, and then goes TY the other side, passing both of them, and then as we go up the hill, TY takes hold of position there, and then onto the brakes, and Intrepidi having a look at the inside of us as well, and then but look, Blakeney holds him off. But Bradders then exit stage right as he clips the curve on the outside. We'll get a different angle on that for you now. A quick view from the outside of what happened to Bradders. So what he goes wide, puts the power on the after-turf, and his back end goes round into the wall, straight into the Armco, and no way out from there. So you have to wait for Will to rejoin, and then rejoin safely back in 9th. Okay, here's an onboard with Pash, but look at how TY did this miraculous save on lap 3. So watch TY's car on the right, he's on the curb, and then he's braking on the curb, back end slides down, he's drifting. It's like Formula Drift, apex to apex, and just holds onto the car. And then TY goes back down to 4th, and Pash goes back through, but what a save from TY. But now his tyres are red hot. And now we return to the racing action. Meanwhile, up front, we've got Bidster on a 1:52.1. What a time from Bidster. Bidster pulling away from Stevie very, very easily indeed. And Stevie then just struggling to stay with Bidster out front as Bidster slides his BMW around the last corner and onto the start-finish straight. There's Stevie in his car with the front tyres probably melting and screaming, I've had enough. But the tyres, well, Stevie's not listening. As we go back here, we've got a few cars close together. And we've got, so it's Pash, Neil, Blake. So it's still the same, but very, very close indeed. As Blake then looks to get the opportunity onto the straight, into the draft. Intrepidi gets a good run as well in the Megane. Down towards the first corner. All 4 cars close together. This battle for 4th, real well and truly heated. TY's left these guys. He's thinking, right, I'm off. I'm going to go and try and chase down Stevie if I can. But he's done a 54 TY, so he's clear of the group now. He's into the 54s. So good job by TY as Blakeney has to watch out for Intrepidi behind while he's attacking Neil Farmack. Looking at Neil up the hill. Good line there from Neil out the corner. Try and use as much of the corner as he can. And he's got a good run on his teammate as well. Will he go for the inside? Will the 2 teammates have a go at each other? The Smoking Tyres squad. Oh, as Neil goes up the inside, Pash leaves him an acre of room. And that means that Blakeney can take advantage. But again, as the 2 cars close the lines out the corner, there's contact. But luckily both all get away with it. That was just racing contact as we go down to the next corner. Pash defends the inside from Blake, and Trapini looking very promising behind as well. Right on the back of this group. Oh, he's not right on the back. He's trying to pass Blakeney. He's having a go. But the Megane just a bit slower up the hill. The BMW better on traction out the corner with the rear drive. And Intrepidi having another go. Let's see if he has another go up here. Moves to the outside. No way through. And into the inside of the apex of the corner, and no way through. So Blakeney holds on to his position, but very, very good battle here. Meanwhile, up front, Bidster on a 53, Stevie on a 55, that's the lap times, and 54 for TY as Blake goes around the outside. Oh, Intrepidi and Blake, bit of contact there, and Blake goes off. Intrepidi goes through, but that'll probably have to get looked at because of the side-by-side contact. But yeah, that might be looked at, but Blake is down to 7th place, Intrepidi up to 6th in a bit of a rough fashion, should we say? And down the straight, or up the straight, should I say, up the straight and then downhill at the other side. So Intrepidi getting out the draft of Blake and down the straight. Meanwhile, there's Bidster in the lead of the race in the BMW, sliding his way out the corners. Up the hill we go, and on the power, sliding the back end of that BMW out. And Stevie up the hill in the front wheel drive Megane chasing after him. But Bidster just pulling out the lap times he needs. As TY has gone backwards. TY spun somewhere. Where is he? He's on the grass. He's got damage to the car. So TY's gone completely off. So don't know what happened there. But we'll try and get a replay for you near the end. So yeah, we'll get a replay near the end for you of that because we're after the halfway point. But yeah, oh, TY. Oh, he's lost the back end completely. The tyres must have completely gone on that BMW from the spin or whatever. But as Neil Farmack and Intrepidi and Blakeney are all side by side, we're almost 3 wide, but we're definitely 2 wide. Blakeney looking for redemption. Oh, and Intrepidi, and there's contact. Oh, Blakeney getting a bit annoyed there with Intrepidi, I think, and just sticking his nose where it's not wanted. And Intrepidi coming across. So again, another little bit of an incident to look into there. But definitely they made contact again. So. Intrepidi joins, and Blake is already making an enemy of the new guy. So all happening here as Neil goes to defend into the corner from Intrepidi, and he does, as Pash pulls away a little bit from this fight. So he's managing to pull his gap on his teammate. Round the left-hander into the left hairpin. Intrepidi having another little look, but no way through there in the Renault. As Blake loses at the back end, the rear tyres might have gone on that BMW as well. Because with the track temperature, no matter what, you're in a front-wheel drive or a rear-wheel drive car, you slide on this track and your tyres will die because of the heat. Intrepidi can take a very, very narrow line through that corner, and he's catching up to Neil Farmack. He's in the draft. Will he look for a move here? Let's go on board with Intrepidi, and this is the camera I wanted. Brilliant, got it straight to it straight away. We're in the draft. It'll probably change in a minute. I'm not going to press anything at all, but it'll probably change itself in a minute. There we go, and he's looking to the inside, but no way through there. As he gets a good run through the right-hander. Will he ever go into the hairpin? Will he ever go to try and pass Neil Farmack under brakes? Oh, he has a look, but Neil fends him off. No, you don't. No, you don't. As we go up the hill, and Intrepidi then trying to use that Megan's traction to get past the Mercedes, but the Mercedes again very good in the slow corners. As we go into the hairpin, you'll see here the Mercedes should be quite good. Yep, it just darts its way into the corner, and then he runs a bit wide out though. Intrepidi could get a good run up the hill, but no, again Neil just gets the power down early enough to compensate the gap. Looking to the inside now for the right-hander. Intrepidi having a look again. No way through. So just got to try and pick and choose your moments, Intrepidi. You can't just go for the inside every time. You've got to pick and choose your moments. As we go up and over the hill. Meanwhile, Bidster with a 7-second lead over Stevie. He's absolutely walking away with this. Bidster looking for... Well, he's not got consistent wins because we had Stevie win one of the races at Imola. So, yeah, Stevie won one of the races at Imola, and... obviously he's not got a clean sweep, but he's looking to make it 4 wins in the season so far, if you can continue like this. So lap 7 coming on to the last lap now, Bidster. So one last lap and he crosses the line. We'll have a look what the lap time is in a moment. It's top left of your screen if he does go faster. Let's have a look. He'll do it just as he crossed the line. 53.8, so very consistent. Stevie's still in the 56s, probably with overheating tyres. Meanwhile, back to the battle back here. It is still Pash 3rd, Neil 4th, Intrepidi 5th. But they're catching up to Pash. Pash must have had an off somewhere, so Pash is down. Well, he's still in 3rd, but look, the guys are closing on him. So he's done a 54.9, but the rest are on 54.3, 54.7, 54.0 for Blake. Really fast lap by Blakeney there, almost matching Bidster's time up front. So really, really pushing hard, wanting to try and catch up on this last lap. T.Y. Bradders and Will more or less out of this now in their own positions. Just this last battle for 3rd place, up for the grabs. Over the top. Look at Intrepidi, he's catching up to Neil Farmack. Again, how well have these guys preserved the heat in the tyres for a last lap push? We'll have to see. Is into the hairpin we go. A bit wide on the way in for Intrepidi, but not the worst line. There's Pash really getting caught up here, so Pash obviously must have overheating tyres, and the tyres starting to drop off. So Neil starting to catch up. Neil and Intrepidi starting to catch as we go through the right-hander. Intrepidi right behind Neil Farmack now. Quick look back to Bidster, don't want to miss the leader going over the line, but yep, he's ahead. He's not far off the line now. Neil Farmack still under pressure from Intrepidi as we go up the hill, up the ascent into the right-hander. Will he ever go into the blind crest? No, he's not going to. Over the blind crest and then into a medium right down the hill. And nicely done through there by everyone. But Bidster's coming out the last corner now. He's just coming around the last corner, sliding his BMW around the last corner. Looking for the win. Everyone else really close up. Neil Farmack under attack from Intrepidi. Blakeney trying to get on the back of this as well. This is going to be an epic finish by all these guys. But Bidster is coming across the line. There he is, flashed his lights. And Bidster crosses the white line there and wins the race. Well done to Bidster. Dominant victory for him. And then it's going to be Stevie in a definite 2nd place. There he goes across the line in the black... Renault as towards the line. Neil Farmack and Intrepidi side by side. Pash is going to be 3rd, but who's going to be 4th? It's Intrepidi and Neil on the line. Come on, cameras, work as we go to the line. It's going to be very close. Watch the top left, and I think it's Intrepidi that just got it from Neil. So it's Pash 3rd, then it's Intrepidi, then Neil, Blake in 6th, TY in a disappointed 7th after the spin, and Bradders is going to be in 8th for definite, 8th position for Bradders. and then it's going to be Will in 9th place there, so unlucky for him, but what a finish there. And we'll just get some replays into that second half action just before we go to the points for you now. Here's the replays from the second half of the race. Okay, here's an onboard from Intrepid's car on lap 4. So pass up the inside of Blake ahead. A little bit of rubbing and contact, but I think we're okay. And then both cars slow each other up, and Intrepid goes down the inside. He's on the inside, but Blake didn't really appear to see him. And there was a bit of contact there that they're all involved in, but they all get away with it. A bit scruffy, but we're all getting away with it so far. And then Blaney gets passed by Neil round the outside. Okay, here's the replay on lap 5 of Intrepid and Blake's incident at the last sector. So Intrepid up the inside of Blake goes wide. Watch Intrepid here, he goes on the power and then just runs into Blaney and actually runs him off track. So that was actually Intrepid making a mistake there and actually hitting Blake. So he put the power on too soon and took another car off the track, and he's not looking like he's willing to give up position, so that could be a penalty. Here's a replay of another incident between Blake and Intrepid, this time on lap 6. So you see Intrepid goes wide and then rejoins and Blake gets slowed up. And watch as you go up here, Blake's on the inside. Intrepid's not seen him and he comes across and just takes them both into the barrier, but then takes the position anyway and doesn't give it back. So again, that could be another penalty for Intrepid. Okay, again on board with Intrepid, but this time to look at the end of the race and Neil Farmer to see how close it was. So he gets a good run out of the second to last corner. Looks like he's going to go to the inside, but then doesn't. He then just stays behind Neil. Neil goes a bit wide. There was no contact there, but Neil goes a bit wide, and Intrepid just gets up the inside, and he's alongside him down the straight. And they go up for Neil's car. There's Intrepid, and we just come up to the line. It's not that one, it's the next one. And McGann just having the legs on the Mercedes to take the position. What a finish! And as we come back from that, let's take you now to the standings. Okay, here's the standings from the first race then. So it is Bidster who wins. Well done to Bidster from Stevie in second, and he converted 5 seconds to penalty as well. Hash is third ahead of Intrepid because Intrepid gets a 1 second penalty for track limits, which puts him behind Pash. So Pash takes the podium place in third, Intrepid in fourth. It's Neil in fifth, Blakeney in 6th, TY 7th, Bradders in 8th, and then it's Will rounding off the 9th. As we come back from that, it is Bidster. There he is in the BMW, your winner. 4 times a winner this season already, and we're only in round 2. So well done to Bidster, and we will see you guys next time for race 2 here at Algarve. A bit later on in the evening, so the sun could be a problem. So we'll see you for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Thank you for watching another race by LPB Racing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments below, hit your notification bell, and next time it will be round 2, race 2 from Algarve. We'll see you then.